Tonight's return of several lockdown restrictions and earlier curfews put a damper on many people's travel plans. But don't fret, the country still has plenty to offer even during this pandemic. COVID-19 has caused massive financial losses to many pockets, but there is still plenty to do on a budget across the country. Our reporters Dasen Thathiah, Justin Ford and Nqobile Madlala on an epic road trip to discover hidden treasures and sights for you. They join me now live from across the country. So Dasen, I see that you're actually driving. Tell us where you are.
Yeah, Shahan, I couldn't let even a crossing with you, as much as I love chatting to you, I couldn't let it stop our road trip even for a few minutes. Okay, well, the truth is, let me show you why inside the car. If you can look at that, it's because of the terrible weather that the Eastern Cape has welcomed us with. It's been raining. It's actually in stark contrast to KZN because, you know, we traveled down the coast. We stopped at Port Edward. We managed to get in some time at the beach there. Some people had come out, I think, trying to enjoy the good weather. And then as soon as we enter the Eastern Cape, we're just passing through Bizana now. And that's when the weather really turned. But we are ultimately trying to get to Port St. John's, and we're still some way off. But I imagine that if the weather clears up, it should be something of a pleasant trip.
Yeah, so let's go to Justin. You're in the Karoo, total opposite to what Dasen is seeing. And, you know, people must be very happy there because they don't have the rain. They have sunshine and beautiful sceneries from what I can see.
Absolutely, Shahan. Just to start, America's got Route 66, the Karoo has Route 62, and that's the road we took from Barrydale all the way to Buffalo sort of Game Lodge, where we later on get to see some of the big five along with a game drive with the people at the Buffalo sort of Game Lodge. But best to speak about what's currently happening in this region at this particular lodge is Andries van Schalkwyk. Andries, thank you very much for joining me and welcoming us to your establishment. Just tell us how difficult it has been. COVID-19 surely impacted widely across not only you, your clients and guests, but also staff. Let's start with the staff. How difficult has it been for you to be able to retain them and you know, make sure that they too can have a salary in this difficult time?
Yes, thank you very much for having us and welcome. Yes, my staff under level 3, when I actually saw everything what's happening around us, I had got my staff in their little groups because we weren't allowed to have bigger groups, and I actually said to them, this is reality. We're going to have to try and get through this together. So if we will have to get rid of quite a few of you, unfortunately, unless we all stand together and we decide we're going to work less hours, and so that's how we actually cope. So my whole staff complement of 80 of them are all still here with us today.
Fantastic. In terms of the guests and the numbers, surely we understand that there is lesser amount of people that are allowed at your establishment due to COVID-19 regulations. Firstly, are those guests that are joining you, are they applying the necessary rules and making sure they're wearing masks and sanitizing and so forth? And what has the return been like for you and for this establishment?
Yes, lucky, we got everything in place. The protocols and everything we do exactly according to the book. And even with our guests, we ask them, lucky we open. We're not in a closed establishment like a hotel or things like that. Luckily, it's open. But yes, we still ask them, if they move between the tents and back to the restaurant and back, please, you must have your mask on. So if they sit down, if they're not having a drink or a meal, we ask them to. And if they get up and go off to the loo or something, we also ask, please put on your mask. And thank goodness, everybody has been sort of obliging.
Fantastic. We get to go on a game drive with one of your staff members later on. What are we expecting? What can we expect to see out here at Buffalo Game Lodge?
Yes. First of all, we call our game drives a bush safari because my game rangers are trained to tell you about the plants and the birds and the animals, not just animals all the time. So we call it a bush safari just to be a little bit different. But yes, you're going to see many, many, many animals. We have 22 different species of animal here at Buffalo Strips, and you definitely will probably see more than half of them.
Andries, thank you very much. I am looking forward to it. Shahan, I'm about to get ready to get on to that bush safari. I hope you enjoy your time in studio, Sean.
I'm so jealous. Stop it. You're rubbing it in. So, Nqobile, you're in the Eastern Free State. What's happening that side? I'm jealous again. You three are just basically trying to make us all hate our lives here in Joburg.
Well, Shahan, knowing that you are the kind of person that likes exercising, I think I'm going to start with this highlight. You see that mountain there? That's where everybody who goes hiking, who goes sightseeing, who also goes bird watching goes. So if you think you're jealous now, just wait until you get into one of those. But basically, we're in a place called Rose Place. People come here for visits to do those sort of activities and also horse riding and wine tasting. Now, this is the vineyards. This is where we find Vusi. So Vusi is one of the people that work here to make sure that, of course, some of the South Africans that love their wine do get them in the right condition. So I'm just going to quickly ask Vusi. Vusi, when's an labab?
Ke sebetsa ka morara mme.
Uterang.
Ke dira o etsa wine. Mme. Morara wana o go sebetsa ka morara e fapakaneng. Ke sebetsa merara e fapakaneng ka mabitso ke bo Shiraz, bo Pinotage, bo Tempranillo, bo Pinot Noir. Ke starta o etsa morara wana ke startile ka le mase sa 20 2005. Ke sebetsa ka morara wana ke morara o ratang haholo ke morara e le reng go sebeditse ke sa le manyanya dilemo ke na le lemo tse 60 ke sebeditse le ntate mongaka a ntse a ntitshawala a ntse a ruta jalo go fihlelletse bile ke na le kutlo ya teng ntse re sebetsa kana go fihlella bile se bile re etsa wine le yena.
All right. And you obviously grow this from the bottom, right? Waikulisa.
Ke hudisa ha ka ta o hudisa ke tshwara ke be a mo ne pa etseng teng maemong a teng ha ka ta o be a maemong ano a teng mono kana go e ke tlo e puguna ke na le nako ya o e puguna ha ka ta o e puguna mono ke etsa ke ala ke behe hantle positioning ya teng ke tlo kgetha dithupa tseo nna ke di batlang mono gona ke tlo sebedisa tseuwang le tseuwang tsa gale ke a gona o dintsha ke dintshetse ka thoko ke be tse ding hape hantle metselong wa teng mo di lokelang ba maemong a teng.
All right. Thank you very much, Vusi.
Thank you.
Well, Shahan, basically, it's just explaining to us how to come to that magical ingredients that people now have with a steak or with good food. Well, basically, it all starts here, and he says it has been a very long time that he has been working on this magic, basically creating wine, saying that from the start, he plants it, and also he's the one who decides which one is the best and which one should be going into making that wine. People come into this farm to come for wine tasting.
Yeah, I guess since I can't come there to join you hiking, you're going to have to bring me back some wine. Nqobile Madlala, Dasen Thathiah and Justin Ford.